tell us a little about who you are, what your film is, and just anything else you want to say.
Okay. I'm Sonja Blagojevic, a filmmaker, documentary filmmaker from Belgrade, Serbia. And I'm in LA for the first time, guest of SEE Fest, Southeast European Film Festival. I'm visiting with my film Kosma. It's my first feature documentary film. And basically it's about a network of Serbian radio stations in Kosovo.
All right, so what made, what was that drive in you that wanted this film to be made? What was that process like for you?
Well, it's actually very complicated and it's very connected to life because I made my previous documentary that's kind of mid-length documentary, 50 minutes, about an American clown from California actually, going through Serbia. It was his 4th year that he went around different places in Serbia with his humanitarian circus, Friends from Belgrade. And he went to Kosovo there to make some shows for children there. So basically it's the American clown, Californian, that brought me to that area for the first time. And it's actually very near to the place where I live. So when I came back from there, people asked me, what is it like over there? Because not much people from central Serbia go there. And I was there for a week or so, I couldn't tell them like what was the sense of life. So I decided to make a film about it. And actually that circus, there were no budget circus called Bread and Cheese because it was their catering basically. So we slept where we could, and one night we slept at the radio station in central Kosovo, and that station became one of the main characters of my new film because it is one of the 5 members of radio. It's a network that is connecting and it's spread all around Kosovo. So the frequencies are covering the whole territory. So you see, you're looking for the subject, something that is engaged, something that is important, something that nobody else did. And also the story itself finds you, because it also found me in a way. It was kind of something that clicked while I was there for the first time, and it was just wanting to be done, so I had to do it.
All right, so I just want to ask, how long have you been in LA so far? Is this your first day or?
This is my 3rd day.
Okay.
So I'm overwhelmed with with different kind of sensations. It's beautiful sun and climate, and my first impression is that people are relaxed and kind of just when I ask somebody for something, they are very pleasant, and that is the very first pleasant impression of LA.
Yeah.
And that is very big because on the first day I wanted to walk by myself through the city because I like to do that when I go somewhere for the first time. So it was quite a walk, and you can see my red nose. It got burned from the sun. So yeah, it was kind of rough introduction with LA, but I love it.
That's good. What comparisons can you draw from, whatever kind of radio stations that we have to what's happening in Kosovo right now?
Well, I'm not so well introduced to radio stations that you have here in LA. Was that
right.
The question you asked me? But in some sense, they're in areas that are quite rural, those radio stations that I was following, but actually making a program that is not so different from any other station, I think, in the world, but the context is different, that importance of the sound that is connecting people, it's like the only thing that exists as the connection, So the context is different, and the program, okay, it's small stations, so you can't have that diversity of programs like maybe you have in such a big city, but more or less it's the same, but the context is very different, and it's very interesting to see how radio, in this area of digital media and everything being so, pictures all over, then you go back to the sound that actually is invisible and that can travel much easier than anything else. Basically. So, and I know about my friend told me to listen to interesting radio stations that I listen to, a couple of times, KLX. So it's very progressive and experimental programming. So it's quite interesting for me. Actually, yes, I got hooked on radios while I was doing the film.
All right. So where do you see your piece, being in 6 months? Are you going to be traveling with it, or, what's kind of the schedule you have for it?
Actually, the film is right now being shown on several festivals that are kind of focused on East European films. So a couple of days ago, at the end of April, it was shown on CE Fest in Paris. And in a few days, it's going to be shown on a similar Central and East European festival in Peru. And right after I get back home from here, I'm going to Vienna to Ethnological and Documentary Film Festival there. And while I was here, I got an email that a film got accepted to another film festival in Italy that is happening in Sicily and one other city on the north. So it's a good period for the film, I think. So, but it's, it's not a festival, but anyhow, my wish is that people see it, the more the merrier.
Yeah.
So it's been happening, slowly and gradually, but the film is traveling, so.
That's good. I want to ask, are there any other pieces that you want to see around CFest, like outside of yours? Like, are there any other pieces that caught your eye that you want to see?
Well, I want to see as many as I can, and you never know what to expect. So I haven't seen trailers, so I can judge maybe by a trailer, but by a synopsis, it's kind of hard. So I want to see pieces from my co-workers that are also guests here, because it's also interesting when you meet somebody to see their work. So yeah, I want to see Carnival and as many other films that I can. Also the Romanian film that's going to be in the closing of the festival. But there is a very diverse program, so I'm going to try to see as many as I can.
Okay. Just one thing I need to ask you. Is this traffic in LA killing you so far? Because someone from being here, it destroys me each and every day. But how do you feel the last 3 days?
That's why it's good to travel.
Yeah.
Because when I came here, it's so much more relaxed than in Belgrade, driving through LA. Though I haven't been to highways, they told me it's the bad thing. I've been just going around, and in comparison to Belgrade, it's very hectic and very, very compact with cars. Here, everything is wider. So it kind of, for me, it's pleasant so far. So maybe you should come to, I heard also in Istanbul it's crazy. So maybe you should come to Istanbul and Belgrade and maybe enjoy LA traffic more when you come back.
Next, I'm going to be in Istanbul. Please.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.